Welcome back to the channel, where today we are diving headfirst into a machine that doesn't just rewrite the rulebook for high-performance vehicles. It takes that rulebook, shreds it into confetti, and then incinerates it with a 5-cylinder flamethrower. We are talking about a vehicle that has just delivered what is being described as a massive blow to the chin of the established supercar elite. This is not a Ferrari. It is not a Lamborghini, and it is certainly not a heavy hybrid hypercar from the usual suspects.
This is the pride of the Netherlands, the absolutely unhinged new Donkervoort P24 RS. For those familiar with the boutique Dutch manufacturer, Donkervoort has spent the last 45 years adhering to a philosophy that makes Lotus look positively gluttonous. They build exceptionally lightweight, open-wheeled style sports cars that offer an unfiltered driving experience that borders on terrifying.
They recently retired the legendary D8 GTO in favor of the slightly larger and more sophisticated F22. But clearly, they felt the F22 was just a bit too civilized, because they have taken that platform and turned the aggression dial completely off the scale to create the P24 RS. This is the most hardcore track-focused weapon the company has ever produced, and the specifications are frankly staggering. Let us begin with the heart of this beast. Donkervoort has maintained its long-standing relationship with Audi, utilizing the glorious 2.5-liter turbocharged inline-five TFSI engine.
This is an engine celebrated for its unique firing order and that unmistakable Group B rally soundtrack. In the standard F22, this powertrain is already potent, but for the P24 RS, Donkervoort engineers have massaged it to unlock unprecedented levels of fury. But here's the headline feature that really sets this machine apart. It features selectable power outputs accessible instantly from the cockpit. Imagine you are cruising along, perhaps on your way to the track, and you want to keep things relatively sane. You leave the car in its default mode, which delivers a still very healthy 443 horsepower. That is 450 metric horsepower, or 331 kilowatts. But then you arrive at the circuit. You see a McLaren or a Porsche GT3 RS in your mirror, and you decide it is time to end the debate before it even begins. You reach for a button located conveniently on the steering wheel, labeled RS. You press it, and instantaneously the ECU remaps. Boost pressure increases, and you have unleashed the full stable of 572 horsepower. That is 580 PS or 427 kilowatts at your immediate disposal. Now, 572 horsepower might not sound like earth-shattering numbers in an era of 2,000 horsepower electric hypercars, but you have to view that figure in the context of weight. This is where Donkervoort operates in a different dimension entirely. The P24 RS tips the scales at just under 1,400 pounds. That is roughly 635 kilograms. To put that into perspective, this car has the power of a serious modern supercar, but it weighs less than half of what a typical Volkswagen Golf weighs. The power-to-weight ratio here is simply stratospheric, rivaling hypercars costing 10 times as much. Achieving this featherweight status required obsession-level engineering. The chassis is a hybrid construction, combining traditional tubular steel for rigidity with astonishing quantities of carbon fiber, made using their proprietary X-Core technology. The result is not only lightness, but immense structural integrity, making this by far the stiffest Donkervoort chassis ever created. And you need that stiffness because the performance metrics are violent. With the RS mode engaged and the rear tires fighting for traction, the P24 RS will rocket from 0 to 62 miles per hour in a mere 2. It will hit 124 miles per hour in just 6.9 seconds on its way to a top speed pushing 180 miles per hour. But straight-line speed is only a fraction of the story. The P24 RS is designed to dominate corners. The aerodynamic package is aggressive to say the least. It looks like it drove through a carbon fiber factory at high speed and everything just stuck to it. There is a massive front lip spoiler, vented fenders to evacuate high-pressure air from the wheel wells, an enormous rear diffuser, and a rear wing that looks big enough to serve dinner on. At top speed, this aero package generates nearly 900 pounds, or 400 kilograms, of downforce, shoving the car into the tarmac. Combined with a wider track and specially developed suspension, this allows the P24 RS to pull a face-melting 1.7 Gs of lateral acceleration in corners. And crucially, it achieves that figure on standard road-legal tires, not dedicated track slicks, which is absolutely mind-boggling. To manage this power delivery, Donkervoort has ditched the 5-speed manual found in the F22. In its place is a lightning-fast 7-speed sequential gearbox. This allows for rapid-fire clutchless upshifts, ensuring that boost remains constant and acceleration is relentless. Power is sent exclusively to the rear wheels through a limited-slip differential, meaning this car demands respect and a very talented driver to extract its maximum potential without ending up backwards in the gravel. Bringing this missile to a stop are 4-piston brake calipers at all 4 corners. Because the car is so incredibly light, it does not need heavy, complex carbon-ceramic rotors. Standard high-performance steel brakes are more than adequate to haul it down from speed repeatedly without fading. Inside the cockpit is pure motorsport minimalism. It is a strict 2-seater with deep bucket seats that are essentially part of the chassis. The dashboard is a digital screen providing vital telemetry, and the steering wheel is a small rectangular unit housing crucial controls, including that magic RS power button, and rotary dials to adjust the intervention levels of the anti-lock braking system, allowing drivers to tailor the car's behavior to specific track conditions. The Donkervoort P24 RS is a stunning reminder that in the pursuit of ultimate performance, adding lightness is always the superior strategy compared to just adding more horsepower and more technology. It is a raw, visceral analog experience in an increasingly digital automotive world. Sadly, if you are just hearing about this now, and you have the approximately $440,000 needed to buy one, you are already too late. Donkervoort is only building 50 units of the P24 RS, and inevitably, every single one of them was spoken for almost immediately. It is a rare, expensive, and absolutely spectacular machine that proves the internal combustion engine still has plenty of fight left in it, especially when packaged in something this light and this extreme.